My name is Tim Mace, and I have directed many plays for the Children's Theater of Charleston starting back in about the mid-90s, and I am the director for The Hobbit, a musical adventure. It is, of course, based on the very famous J.R.R. Tolkien tale, and it's a very famous novel, of course, and recently, this year, has been made into a blockbuster movie, which has just been very, very successful. This is, ironically, the only stage production of The Hobbit that J.R.R. Tolkien approved of in his lifetime. It was the only one that he read and approved and said, this is ours and you can put my name on it. And of course things happen over time and things change, but I always find that rather important that the author himself really recommended it and approved of it. The story is, of course, of Bilbo Baggins. This is the story of the Hobbit, and he is a Hobbit who prefers his really calm life. But unfortunately, or fortunately maybe, he is drafted to go on a big adventure. 13 mighty dwarves and a wizard come to his little hobbit hole one day, and they are trying to get him to go because 13 is an unlucky number. They want him to go on their adventure to help them fight the dragon Smaug, S-M-A-U-G, not S-M-O-G. And Smaug has taken the village from them. And he then, Bilbo, has decided, and they convince him to go along with him on the journey. Even though he prefers his kind of settled life, he does want to go on and save because he knows what to do is right. And I think Gandalf the Wizard knows that too. Well, Mark Scarpelli is the musical director, and we had close to 100. To be honest with you, I've forgotten how many we had audition. But it was close to 100 that we had audition, and they had to sing a little bit because this is a musical adventure, and of course they had to read as well. It took us 2 days, and we auditioned them. I think most people found the process a little bit maybe daunting if they'd never done it, but certainly it was a fast process compared to some of the other shows that we have auditioned. They had to sing a little bit, they had to act a little bit, and we looked for those kids and those young people who could actually do a little of both. And Mark and I have worked together several times before, and I am always pleasantly surprised and amazed at the talent that comes forth in this community, especially from the young people. And they're willing, they are able, they have talent, they have experience, and they are just amazing to work with. I work with adults as well, and I love working with my adults, but somehow directing children, they have that little spark that keeps you on your toes, but it also adds this creative spark and this fire behind the show. Well, all shows, no matter if they're children, adults, or whatever, are collaborations, and we have just an amazing support staff here with Children's Theater of Charleston, with Angie Baker working on our sets, and Kit Reed doing our costuming. They're just amazing. Karen Weingart with our props. They have a special talent and a special love for doing what they do. My role in it is basically, someone described it one day like herding cats, because they're children and you've got to show them exactly where to stand and where they can best be heard and best be seen. In addition, my 3 words that I always tell my actors, whether they're kids or adults, is our job is to 3 words, tell the story. And if anything in the show is that I add, or anything that we do, or anything that the characters or the actors come up with that helps tell that story, that's what I look for, and that's what we work on, and that's what we decide to use. Those things that are extraneous and don't help tell that story, of course, I start to weed out. I block the show, I help get the look for the show. The colors is something I'm really, really fond of working with, is a color meaning certain things, the overall vision of the show. But again, all work is a collaboration, and I think we are very lucky to have people like Kit and Karen and Angie, and especially Mark Scarpelli, to work with these young people and to have such talent coming through in them. One of the things I see, and I don't know if it's a product of the times, I don't know if it's a product of games, video games and computers, Students, young people have a tendency to pull within themselves. You don't have to look at the people you're talking to when you play a game because they may be halfway across the world and you're playing against them. In a show, in auditions, you learn those interpersonal communications that we have to deal with. How do I communicate best this idea to someone else? How can I come across as someone knowledgeable? How can I come across as a stronger communicator? And I think that is one of the biggest benefits to any kind of theatrical or artistic program. You get to express yourself in a very positive way. In addition, I think kids learn poise. I think adults learn poise. I think they learn to use their voices better. The voice training they get, both singing and speaking, is just amazing. In addition, they learn to think on their feet. This is something that is not, you're not born with knowing how to think on your feet. And this is an example of being able to do that and be able to express yourself in a strong way. Self-confidence, self-assuredness. If you're nervous about auditioning, I think my best thing to tell you is that it is not as scary as you might think. And once you get through it the first time, you'll be surprised that you were ever really that worried about it. There's always that flutter of butterflies and those nervous twinges that we have, but I think overall it's not nearly as frightening as you might think.